Ladies, let me tell you something right now that I've been preaching for years. And if you don't get this, it's going to cost you a lot of time, a lot of tears, and a lot of unnecessary heartbreak. Never chase a man. I don't care how good he looks, how sweet he talks, or how much potential you see in him. Chasing a man is one of the quickest ways to lose your dignity, lose your respect, and even lose your self-worth. I'm talking to the women who stay up late texting, calling, and thinking, if I just try harder, maybe he'll love me. I'm here to tell you, no matter how much you chase, if he's not running toward you willingly, he's not the one. And you need to understand this before you waste another second. Too many women think love is about effort. They think love is about proving themselves over and over. And somewhere along the way, you start believing that if you just give a little more, try a little harder, maybe he'll notice. But let me be honest with you, the moment you chase, you start giving power to someone who might not even deserve it. You start putting your happiness in their hands. And trust me, happiness in someone else's hands is unstable, shaky, and it will leave you feeling empty. Men are designed differently than women. They are wired to pursue, to fight for what they want, to step up when a woman is worth it. But when you chase a man, you remove all challenge, all respect, and all excitement. And what do you get in return? Confusion, frustration, and heartbreak. Let me break it down even further. When you chase, you're doing the emotional work that should be shared. You're calling him when he doesn't call. You're making plans to see him when he doesn't make plans for you. You're showing up, texting, and hoping that your effort will be enough to spark interest. But that's not love, and it's not respect. That's desperation, and desperation is never attractive. The right man doesn't need you to chase him. The right man doesn't need reminders, coaxing, or extra effort to make you feel loved. If he's meant to be in your life, he will pursue you consistently, enthusiastically, and with respect. That's the kind of energy that makes a woman feel secure, appreciated, and cherished. Anything less is just noise, and you don't have time for noise. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Steve, what if I really love him? What if he's perfect in every way? Let me tell you, love is not about convincing someone to love you back. Love is about knowing your worth, respecting yourself, and allowing the right person to meet you there. If a man has to be persuaded to love you, that is not love. That is manipulation, control, or lack of interest. A man who truly wants you will make time for you, he will prioritize you, and he will show up without being begged. And yes, that man exists. But you will never find him if you're too busy chasing someone who doesn't see your value. And don't get me wrong, this is not about playing games. I'm not saying ignore him and he'll magically come running. No. This is about self-respect, about holding your ground, about understanding that your time, your energy, and your heart are not cheap. They are precious. You have to protect them. If a man isn't pursuing you, he's either not ready, not serious, or simply not the right one. And you don't need to chase him to find out. Your actions, your boundaries, and your self-respect will reveal the truth faster than any chase ever could. Here's another thing I want you to understand. When you chase a man, you start to settle for less than you deserve. You accept crumbs, you tolerate inconsistency, and you compromise your standards. That man may show up when it's convenient for him, he may text when he feels like it, or he may disappear without explanation. And instead of walking away, some women will chase harder, thinking, if I just love him more, he'll stay. No. You can love someone with all your heart and still walk away if they don't treat you with the respect and commitment you deserve. Chasing doesn't get you love. It gets you frustration, heartbreak, and wasted years. Let me give you a real-life example. I know women who spent years chasing men who never truly valued them. They gave all their attention, all their love, all their effort, and what did they get in return? Neglect, disappointment. A man who could leave and did leave without a second thought. And I see the same mistake over and over. Ladies, you can't create love. You can't force respect. You can't make someone pursue you. If he doesn't choose you willingly, it doesn't matter how much you chase him. He's not going to stay. The truth is, your chase teaches him that he doesn't have to put in effort. When a man knows you'll always be there, always waiting, always begging for attention, he loses the motivation to fight for you. Respect and attraction go hand in hand, and chasing a man will almost always diminish both. On the other hand, when you stop chasing, you take back your power. You live your life, you focus on your goals, and you show him that your love is not free for the taking. And the right man will notice. The right man will see your confidence, your strength, your independence, and he will pursue you with genuine desire. That is the kind of love that lasts a lifetime. Now, I want you to understand something very important. Never chasing a man does not mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you close your heart. It means you prioritize yourself. You focus on your growth, your happiness, and your purpose. You don't let a man's indecision define your worth. You know that your life is full, that your heart is strong, and that love should come as a partnership, not a plea. The moment you realize this, the moment you stop chasing, is the moment your life changes. Doors open, your self-respect skyrockets, and the men who truly matter start showing up in ways you never imagined. So, ladies, the bottom line is this. Stop wasting your time, energy, and heart on men who don't see your worth. Stop texting, stop calling, stop begging for attention. Never chase a man. Instead, chase your dreams, chase your happiness, and chase your purpose. Build a life that you are proud of. Love yourself fiercely, and trust that the right man will come to you willingly, respectfully, and with all the love and effort that you deserve. Anything less is not worth your time, and anything more is your blessing in disguise. You are a queen. Act like one. Don't chase. Command respect. And watch how life changes when you honor yourself above all else. Let me tell you something real, and I need you to hear this straight. Never chase a man. I don't care how much you like him, how handsome he is, how charming he seems, or how perfect he looks on paper. Chasing a man is one of the fastest ways to drain yourself emotionally and lose your self-respect. Too many women confuse persistence with love, thinking that if they just try a little harder, call a little more, or show up one more time, he'll finally see their worth. I'm telling you right now, that is a trap. The right man doesn't need chasing. If he's meant to be in your life, he will pursue you willingly, wholeheartedly, and consistently. If he's not, no amount of chasing is going to make him show up. I've seen it time and time again, women running after men, texting them constantly, answering calls instantly, showing up uninvited, hoping that their effort will spark some kind of commitment. And what happens? They get nothing but frustration and disappointment. The problem is chasing communicates the wrong message. It tells him that he doesn't have to work for your love, that he can be inconsistent, and that your attention is always guaranteed. And that's not how a healthy relationship works. Respect and desire are earned, not handed out because someone is begging. When you chase a man, you diminish your value in his eyes. You turn yourself from a queen into someone he can take for granted. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Steve, I love him. What if he really is the one? Let me tell you, love is not about convincing someone to be with you. Love is about knowing your worth, respecting yourself, and standing in your power. If a man has to be convinced to love you, he doesn't deserve the energy, the attention, or the heart you're offering. The right man will show up without you having to chase him. He will prioritize you, pursue you, and make it clear that you are valued. That is the kind of man who builds a future with you, not someone you have to beg for scraps from. Too many women confuse attention with affection. They think that if a man talks to them, texts them back, or occasionally takes them out, it means he cares. But caring isn't random or inconsistent. Caring is showing up. It's making an effort without being asked, not sporadically, but consistently. Chasing a man is like putting a patch on a sinking ship. You might feel like you're doing something, but the ship is still going down. You can't fill the gaps in someone else's heart that they refuse to fill themselves. You have to protect your energy, and that starts with refusing to chase someone who doesn't see your value. I want to tell you something else, something a lot of women don't realize. When you chase, you often start settling for less than you deserve. You accept the crumbs, the half-hearted attention, the excuses, and the maybe someday. You start compromising on your standards and tolerating behavior that is beneath you. And before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of disappointment, wondering why men don't treat you the way you want to be treated. It's because chasing doesn't create love or respect. Chasing creates dependency, and dependency kills attraction. A man will always respect a woman who respects herself, and chasing a man shows him that your respect is negotiable. And let's be real, chasing is exhausting. It drains your mind, your heart, and your spirit. You stay up late wondering why he didn't call. You read into every little thing he does or doesn't do. You make excuses for his behavior, and you bend over backwards to try and make him see your worth. Meanwhile, life is passing you by. Your dreams, your happiness, and your self-growth are being put on hold for someone who may not even deserve a minute of your attention. That's why I tell women all the time, stop chasing. Focus on yourself. Build a life that's so full and so vibrant that a man has to step up to be a part of it. Let me give you a real-life example. I've known women who spent years chasing men who didn't even care. They would call and text relentlessly, make excuses for their absence, and constantly show up, hoping to finally earn their love. And what did they get in return? Pain, rejection, confusion. The moment they stopped chasing, the moment they focused on their own lives, those same men suddenly realized what they were missing. But by then, the women had learned their value, had grown stronger, and weren't willing to settle for less. That's the power of not chasing. It's not about punishment. It's about protection. Protection of your heart, your dignity, and your future. Here's another thing to understand. Never chasing a man doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you close yourself off. It means you love yourself more. It means you prioritize your own happiness, your own goals, your own peace. You know that your life is full and meaningful on its own, and you're not dependent on a man to make it complete. The right man will respect that. The right man will pursue you because he sees that you are a woman who knows her worth and will not settle for less than you deserve. And the wrong man, he will fade away, and that's okay. You don't want a man who doesn't value you anyway. When you stop chasing, you create space for the right energy to come into your life. You stop wasting time on someone who isn't serious. You stop giving attention to people who don't reciprocate. And you start attracting the right kind of love, the kind that is consistent, respectful, and genuine. Chasing never leads to long-term happiness, but self-respect and patience always do. When a man knows that your love is not up for grabs, that it has value, he will rise to the occasion if he is the right one. That is how attraction works. That is how respect works. That is how real love works. Ladies, you are queens. You are strong, capable, and full of potential. Don't let anyone, no matter how charming, take that from you. Don't chase a man who doesn't see your worth. Don't waste your energy convincing someone to value you. Your time, your energy, and your heart are too precious for that. The right man will pursue you. He will fight for you. He will show up consistently, wholeheartedly, and with respect. Anything less is not worth your attention. And the moment you understand this, the moment you embrace your own worth, your life will change. You will stop feeling desperate, you will stop feeling anxious, and you will start feeling powerful. You will start attracting the kind of love that you deserve, and you will never have to chase again. So, remember this, never chase a man, let him chase you. Stand in your value, protect your heart, and focus on the life you are building. The right man will pursue you willingly, the wrong man will fade away, and your respect for yourself will be stronger than ever. Don't chase. Command respect. Live fully. Love yourself. And watch as life rewards you with the love and the man who is truly worthy of your heart. I want you to hear me loud and clear today. Never chase a man eye green. Don't care how much you like him, how charming he is, how attractive he looks, or how much potential he seems to have. Chasing a man is one of the fastest ways to drain yourself emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It robs you of your dignity, your confidence, and your self-respect. And I know some of you are thinking, Steve, I love him. What's wrong with wanting him? Nothing is wrong with loving someone, but when that love turns into chasing, begging, and pleading, it stops being love and starts being desperation. And desperation is never attractive. Too many women make the mistake of thinking that love is about effort, that if they just try harder, he will finally notice them. They text when he doesn't text, call when he doesn't call, show up when he doesn't make the effort, and all the while they hope that their persistence will finally spark commitment. But let me tell you something real. The moment you chase a man, you lose the upper hand. You take the power that should be his to earn, and you hand it to him for free. Chasing says, I am willing to lower my standards for you. And when you lower your standards, men often lose respect, because respect is built on boundaries, on knowing your worth, and on not being willing to settle for less than you deserve. Think about it. A man who truly wants you will pursue you. He will call, not because you called him first, but because he wants to connect with you. He will make plans not because you reminded him, but because he values your time and your presence. He will fight for your attention, not because he has to, but because he wants to. If he's not doing that, it doesn't matter how amazing you are or how much effort you put in, he's not the right one. And chasing him will not change that. It will only leave you exhausted, frustrated, and doubting your own worth. Here's the hard truth. When you chase a man, you often start settling for less than you deserve. You accept half-hearted attention, inconsistent effort, excuses, and behaviors that are beneath you. You start rationalizing things, making excuses, and tolerating treatment that would never be acceptable in a healthy, loving relationship. And over time, that chasing erodes your self-esteem. It convinces you that your love has to be earned through effort and sacrifice instead of being freely given and reciprocated. The right man doesn't need chasing. The right man doesn't make you beg for attention, affection, or commitment. He shows up willingly. He makes you feel valued, and he makes consistent effort because he respects you. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Steve, what if I really love him? What if he's perfect for me? Let me tell you, love is not about convincing someone to be with you. Love is about knowing your worth, loving yourself, and creating a life that doesn't revolve around someone else's indecision. The moment you understand that your happiness is your responsibility, the moment you stop chasing is the moment your life changes. You become magnetic. You become a woman who commands respect and sets boundaries. You become a woman who is no longer willing to give her energy to someone who isn't willing to fight for her. And let me tell you, the right man will notice. I want to give you an example from real life. I know women who spent years chasing men who never reciprocated. They were constantly texting, calling, and trying to prove their worth. And what did they get in return? Disappointment, heartbreak, pain. But the moment they stopped chasing, focused on themselves, and built a life full of purpose, confidence, and joy, those same men suddenly realized what they had lost. By then, the women had grown stronger, had learned their worth, and were no longer willing to settle for someone who didn't value them. That's the power of not chasing. It's not about punishing anyone. It's about protecting yourself and honoring your worth. Chasing a man also teaches him that he doesn't need to put in effort. If he knows that no matter what he does, you'll always be there waiting, begging, and showing up, he loses motivation. Respect and attraction go hand in hand, and chasing erodes both. A man respects a woman who respects herself. He respects a woman who doesn't tolerate less than she deserves. And when you stop chasing, you send a clear message. Your love is valuable. Your heart is precious. And you will not compromise your standards. That's how real attraction works. That's how real love works. Let me be clear. Not chasing doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you shut your heart off. It means you love yourself more than you fear losing someone else. It means you prioritize your own happiness, your growth, and your peace of mind. It means you build a life so full that you're not dependent on anyone to make it meaningful. And that is powerful. The right man will be drawn to that energy. He will respect it, pursue it, and rise to meet it. The wrong man, he will fade away, and that's okay, because he was never meant to be in your life in the first place. I want you to understand something very important. Never chasing a man is not about playing games. It's not about manipulation. It's about boundaries. It's about protecting your energy and your heart. It's about living your life fully while allowing the right person to find you willingly. You see, love should be a partnership, not a negotiation. It should be mutual effort, not a one-sided chase. And when you start living like this, something magical happens. The right people start appearing in your life. You attract respect, commitment, and genuine love because you have set the standard for how you will be treated. Ladies, you are queens. You are strong, capable, and full of potential. Don't waste your time chasing someone who doesn't see your value. Don't give your energy to someone who isn't willing to show up for you. Protect your heart, honor your worth, and focus on the life you are building. The right man will pursue you. He will make consistent effort. He will show up with respect, love, and dedication. And when that happens, you'll know that you didn't have to chase him to earn it. You didn't have to beg for it. You simply stood in your worth, lived your life, and let the right man find you. So remember this: never chase a man. Stand firm in your value, protect your heart, and focus on your growth and happiness. When you do that, you attract the right kind of love, the kind that is consistent, respectful, and genuine. Anything less is not worth your time, energy, or heart. Be patient, be confident, love yourself fiercely, and trust that the right man will come to you willingly, fully, and with all the effort and respect that you deserve. Ladies, I need you to hear me real clear. Never chase a man. I don't care how charming he is, how handsome he looks, or how perfect he seems. Chasing a man will only drain your energy, your confidence, and your self-respect. Too many women think that if they just call more, text more, show up more, or try harder, a man will finally notice them. That's a mistake. The right man doesn't need chasing. If he's meant for you, he will pursue you willingly, with effort, and with respect. If he's not, no amount of chasing will change that. You need to understand this before you waste another minute on someone who isn't ready or willing to value you. Think about it. When you chase a man, you give him all the power. You start bending over backwards, putting his happiness above your own, and giving your attention freely, as if it costs you nothing. And the truth is, it costs everything: your dignity, your self-worth, your time, and your energy. A man respects a woman who respects herself. When you chase, you send the message that your respect is negotiable. That is not attractive. That is desperation. And desperation is never what draws a man in. It pushes him away. Too many women confuse attention with affection. They think that if a man calls occasionally, texts back late, or spends a little time with them, it means he cares. But care is consistent. Love shows up willingly. When you chase, you are essentially doing the work he should be doing to show you that he values you. And let me tell you, that's exhausting. You can't create love or respect where it doesn't already exist. No matter how much you try, you cannot force someone to pursue you if it's not in their heart. The effort has to come from him, naturally and willingly, or it's never going to work. I've seen women spend years chasing men who never deserved the chase. They texted, called, and showed up constantly, hoping their effort would finally get the love they wanted. And what did they get? Pain, frustration, rejection. But the moment they stopped chasing, the moment they focused on themselves, built their confidence, and lived full, meaningful lives, the men suddenly noticed. Not because the women were playing games, but because they had taken back their power. Their time and energy were no longer free for the taking, and that made them magnetic. That's the power of never chasing. It's not punishment, it's protection. Protection of your heart, your mind, and your future. When you stop chasing, you also stop settling. Chasing a man often means accepting crumbs, tolerating excuses, and rationalizing behavior that is beneath you. That's how women end up feeling unappreciated and undervalued. You deserve better than half-hearted attention and inconsistent effort. You deserve a man who sees your worth, shows up consistently, and treats you like a queen every single day. The moment you realize that, your life changes. You stop wasting time and energy on people who aren't serious. You start living fully, growing personally, and becoming the kind of woman the right man wants to pursue. And understand this, never chasing a man doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you shut your heart off. It means you love yourself more than you fear losing him. It means you prioritize your happiness, your peace, and your goals. It means you create a life full of purpose and meaning without needing someone else to validate it. And when you live like this, the right man will naturally be drawn to you. He will see your strength, your confidence, and your independence, and he will rise to meet it. The wrong man, he will fade away, and that's okay, because he was never meant to be in your life anyway. Chasing a man teaches him that he doesn't have to put in effort. If he knows you'll always be there, waiting, texting, and chasing, he loses motivation. Respect and attraction are built on boundaries, and chasing erodes both. A man respects a woman who sets boundaries, honors herself, and refuses to settle for less than she deserves. When you stop chasing, you create space for real love that is consistent, genuine, and respectful. Anything less is not worth your heart, your time, or your energy. Ladies, you are queens. You are strong, capable, and full of value. Don't waste your life chasing someone who doesn't see it. Focus on yourself, your goals, and your happiness. Stand firm in your worth and watch how life changes. The right man will pursue you willingly, show up consistently, and love you fully. Chasing will never get you that. Command respect. Honor your heart. Live your life with purpose. Love yourself fiercely. And trust that when a man is meant for you, he will come without you having to chase a single step.